All right, so let's just say that the heat is on, and the guy behind the heat is now here. Florida Republican Congressman Cliff Stearns, who called for today's hearing in the first stage. Congressman, did you get any answers or more confusion?
Well, no, I think we did, Neil. I think one of the things you failed to mention is that the FBI raided Solyndra 2 days after their bankruptcy. So we're talking about not just a bankruptcy here, we're talking about criminal fraud.
That's very true.
And I think that when you look at, they spent $1.5 billion in less than 2 years. That's a cash burn of exceedingly large amount. And both the Department of Energy as well as OMB couldn't explain it. And I think, as you pointed out earlier, that these folks agreed that it should not have gone forward as the administration wanted because there are too many flags showing that this was a very ill-advised project. And lastly, they broke the law. The Energy Policy Act of 2005 said you cannot subordinate taxpayers' money to commercial outside venture capital. And that's exactly what they did when they raised another $75 million just before they went into bankruptcy. And we brought out in the hearing that they broke the law, and they did not clearly show us how they could substantiate putting American taxpayers behind these venture capitalists and these two hedge funds.
Well, I think the bigger question is, however you folks resolve this and what happened in Solyndra's case, you're quite right to talk about the FBI. I did not mean to imply in my follow-up comment that that's true, that they're guilty of criminal wrongdoing, but that's what an FBI raid would at least have folks talking about. But I do want to get a sense from you what this means for the other solar initiatives that the administration has announced, the 2 to 3 other companies it's also committed capital and interest in. I'm wondering now whether people are going to look back at that and say, wait a minute, just freeze all this. What?
Well, they have $10 billion left at the Department of Energy. In my closing opening statement, I said that they should not give this $10 billion out. Instead, give it back to taxpayers to help pay down the debt. The second thing I think we should realize that solar panels have been subsidized by the federal government. States governments are also subsidizing. We're giving taxpayers write-off on their tax returns, and yet these solar panels cannot make it in the competitive world without all these subsidies. And even with them, China is flooding the market with this cheap labor, and the solar panels just don't make sense. So I think the administration is on this fervent religion of green jobs and clinging to the idea that solar power is the answer, and it's not the answer. In fact, SunTech, the largest manufacturer of solar panels, is run off a coal-fired power plant.
All right, it's a mess and getting messier. Thank you, Congressman, very, very much.
Right, thank you.